Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be setting up our industry and taking a look at the tech tree as well, or taking a closer look at the tech tree again. So, right now we're going to choose our specialization. I'm going to pick gathering. This will help us unlock all the buildings that we need to get started. Alright, so we've picked our specialization. As you can see down here on the bottom right hand corner, we have 3 R&D points. Everywhere else we only have 1. There is a good reason for this. Specializing allows you to pick more buildings at the start. It also helps generate the points just a tad faster, as well as the amount of buildings you have also helps generate points as well. So, as you will note later on, we'll get a lot of logistics points. There'll be a lot of trucks running around. Right, we need our water siphon for our farms. I'm going to pick up our lumberyard for wood because that sells quite nicely, and our fisherman pier for the fish. We've spent 3 points here now. We've mastered some of these unlocks here, and that will help us. So building upkeep goes down, storage capacity goes up, the production speed of our buildings goes up as well, and we've lowered the initial build cost of our buildings as well. So that's pretty good. And our next point we'll be able to either put into here, or we'll be able to unlock some of these other buildings further down the line. Now, as I said in our last episode, we're going to pick the plantation. This allows us to unlock our berries and our cotton, very good for making dyes and fabrics. We've only got 1 R&D point, so we'll have to wait to unlock our crop farm, or we can go and unlock cocoa fields and sugarcane fields at a later point. Industry, again, similar deal. Like we said in our last episode, fabrics and dyes at the textile factory, and we'll have to wait for further points later down the line. And then logistics, let's unlock some dispatch slots. Right, so that's all our points used in our tech tree. Those points will generate over time, we'll get some more, and we will unlock further things down the line. Now, like I said, cotton and berries makes dyes and fabric. To check what kind of things you can make with the resources you have in your area, you can look at the recipe book. It's up here in the top right hand corner. It'll show you what your factories can make, what your farms will produce, and what your gatherers will gather, essentially. So your lumberyard will make wood, your coal mine will make coal, and so on. Your farms, so your crop farm, will be able to make these things: hops, vegetables, and wheat, all requiring a water input, and all outputting their resource, essentially. So you see it's pretty much the same for each of them. The livestock farms are a little bit different. They require both water and wheat to produce their things. Obviously, your animals require feed of some description, so they use wheat in this case. And then your factories, these are the ones that will bring out your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th tier things, I guess, for lack of a better word. We'll look at our textile factory because that's the building we'll be using. Under here, see, dye, fabrics, and a whole bundle of other stuff. So dye requires berries and water, 2 things we've got access to right now. Fabric requires dyes and cotton. Again, the dyes we saw earlier. Cotton is made at our plantation, which we have unlocked. So that's pretty much how that goes. And if you get lost in anything trying to figure out the way that things work, what you need to sort of set up production for various bits and pieces, the recipe book is always a good place to look. Other buttons up there include your global market. This is just a price for every single material in the game. Your trade routes, which we'll set up at a later point. Map layers coming soon. I probably forgot to mention this game is in early access, so a lot of things will change at some point. At some stage, these videos may be irrelevant, and I'll have to make some new ones. But up until that point, this is what I've got. And this one. This is, again, a tutorial, but in text, and probably a little bit more in-depth than I'm giving you right now. Worth it read if you get the game. Definitely worth a read. Down the bottom right, speed controls. Down at the bottom in the middle are all our building controls, which we will begin to use right now. So, first things first, we are going to get all of our gathering set up. Right, so first things first, I need fish. We've got 1 there, and 1 here. I'm actually going to set up our fish over this side. But I forgot to do something. Now would be a good time to click this button. Full build permit. Now we can start building buildings. In fact, we're going to try build as close to our town as possible, but not too close, if you get what I mean. So So over here is actually going to be a little bit better for us. It gives us access to the fish, not being too far away. It cuts on our transport costs, which is pretty good. Right, and let's start by putting down some of these. There we go. So that's our hub, that's our Fisherman's Pier set up, and we're going to set this up even further by choosing the destination for our fish, which will be our farmer's market here at Whiskerley. Right, you'll notice that it says here, destination unreachable or nothing to deliver. Both are true. We'll have to build ourselves some roads. Now, I'm actually come out this way, because this is going to help us with some of our other things as well. Cool, so that is now all set up. That is our base income set, but we're going to get clever now. We need our water siphons. Your R key is used to rotate. Well, that's self-explanatory, I'm fairly certain. We'll get set up with our roads. So that is one of our water siphons set up. We're probably going to need another one, but we'll get to that in a second. First things first, our plantation. This is one of two that we need thus far. This one will be our berries, and we'll get all of our destinations and stuff set up. Right now we need to get our other plantation set up as well. So our other plantation, which is berries for now, but we will be changing that out in a second. Here's how you change it out. Production tab. Here we've got two options set to us. Set it to cotton, and lo and behold, so it changes. Right, let's set up the destination for our water that we are siphoning. Under our destination tab, we've got all these ones. Farms, set it for our plantation. We're just going to drop that down to 1 truck each. That will keep down our logistics costs. And it's also relatively close, so we don't need to worry about supplying huge amounts of water to each of these because it's literally next door. Right, the next thing we need to set up is another water siphon. Now this one will get closed later on. Actually no, it won't. This one will be, I guess you could say, repurposed. And in fact I'm fairly certain I've just made a huge mistake there, because this is now going to take us a fair while to get resources to it. So let's try that one again. Hey, look, I'm making the mistakes so that you don't have to. Let's put that there. Alright, let's put a siphon there, a siphon there, and a siphon there. We'll run a road around. There we go, that's that one done. And then we're going to put down our very first textile factory. We're going to put one there and one there. Similar thing again, we're going to change the production for one of these out to dye, and one of them will stay as fabrics. So let's set up the destinations for all of our farms and our other water siphon. One of our water siphons will be going to our factory. Drop the amount of trucks. Our berries will also be going to our dye factory. Now you saw there that we can actually send it out to another commercial building at Clay. However, no roads run between Whiskerley and Clay over here. And that is a huge expense to take on at the start of the game. Sometimes the roads will develop by themselves, other times you'll have to build them yourself, but I wouldn't bother with that just yet. Focus on the town that you've started with. Alright, now we're going to set up our cotton farm. Our cotton farm, their destination is this one here. And we'll also be able to send cotton out to our hardware store as well, which we won't bother with for now because we've only got one farm, one factory, one textile factory. That's all right. Right, the destination for our dyes will also go to the fabric one. Again, we can also send it out to our hardware store, but we're not going to bother with that one for now. Right now, the only thing that will be going to our hardware store will be our textiles, our fabrics. Alright, and let's run the game. Now, if you want to see how much everything is costing you, down here in the bottom you can see a white number and a red number. This is your costs for the last 30 days. It runs on a monthly tick. As you see there, the money from the building that we deconstructed, as well as how much we spent constructing all those buildings. It's going to be a while before that number goes green. It takes its time. Right, now that we've got everything started, you'll also be able to see the amount that each individual truck is costing you as well. And that will also appear here under vehicle upkeep. You want to try to keep that number as low as possible, hence why there's only one truck running from each of these buildings. It's just got to keep that number down. The only building that will probably be using more trucks than anything else is this one, because we want to try to get as much fish out to that market as possible. Alright, and that's all we've got time for. We'll see you again in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.